p.m. Despite a police search shortly after her disappearance, her body was not found until early Thursday morning, floating in the same pool that had been searched the day before. Family members and eyewitnesses claim with certainty that the child's body was not present during the initial searches. The discovery has sparked intense speculation that the child may have been moved post-mortem, possibly in an effort to stage the scene.
This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Thursday, April 24, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, some tragic news from across the country. Fiery protest erupts after the body of an 11-year-old Adriana Young is found in the pool of a hotel at Tushen.
When everybody start watching me daughter, I see my woman, hold me daughter like this thing. I'll push out the pool.
On the Linden Highway, a man goes berserk, shooting his wife, her mother, and her siblings. A U.S. report, though heavy in its criticism of Guyana, clears the government of facilitating money laundering. And in sport, third place finish for Guyana at Regional Under-15 and GFF to actively scout talent in the Under-15 Girls Championship. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you can join us. First up, the discovery of 11-year-old Adriana Young's body in the pool of the Doubleday Hotel has taken a chilling turn, with authorities confirming visible marks of violence on her face and body. The grim discovery has intensified public outrage as the community draws chilling parallels to a 2012 incident at the same hotel when a young mechanic was found dead in the pool under suspicious circumstances. Though the owner's son and a hotel worker were initially charged in that case, both were later freed. Now, more than a decade later, tragedy has struck again at the same location, and the community is demanding answers. Adriana had been reported missing on Wednesday afternoon after she visited the hotel with her grandmother, Carol Xavier, and other relatives around 1:02 p.m. Despite a police search shortly after her disappearance, her body was not found until early Thursday morning, floating in the same pool that had been searched the day before. Family members and eyewitnesses claim with certainty that the child's body was not present during the initial searches. The discovery has sparked intense speculation that the child may have been moved post-mortem, possibly in an effort to stage the scene. Medical personnel and police at the scene noted visible injuries, including bruises and swelling to Adriana's face and the limbs, deepening fears of an assault prior to her death. By mid-morning Thursday, frustration exploded into a full-scale protest. Angry residents lit tires and debris along the main road in Tushen, calling for justice and accusing the police of negligence. Hundreds gathered at the hotel, some storming the premises, later setting parts of the building on fire. Videos circulating online show thick plumes of smoke rising from the hotel as protesters chanted "Justice for Adriana." Her father was among those protesting.
When everybody start watching me daughter, I see my woman, hold me daughter like this thing. I'll push out the pool. Yeah, I tell you, look, they had 4 or 5 staff inside here. Yeah, I tell you, because I stand up the hole and I see people inside the hole like in activities. People move it. I ask the police. After the old. It's not a crime scene. This place is supposed to closed since yesterday at 2 o'clock. That's the you're missing. The police was here at the moment. The CID trying to tell me. Now tell me none of the camera walking. The CID trying to tell me. If he run the camera, he run the camera place. The CID with the car from Tushen was here. Trying to tell me.
Fire was also set to the home of the owner of the hotel. Residents say their anger stems not only from the tragedy itself, but from what they describe as a pattern of cover-ups and corruption surrounding the Doubleday Hotel. President Irfaan Ali intervened personally Thursday morning, reaching out to Adriana's family and ordering a full-scale investigation. He also authorized the deployment of sniffer dogs and specialized units, although they had not arrived by the time Adriana's body was found. The government has ordered that an independent post-mortem examination be conducted on the body. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad was dispatched to the hotel early Thursday to address the grieving family and growing crowd. She conveyed the president's condolences and stressed the government's commitment to transparency and justice. Police headquarters on Thursday afternoon admitted the details shared in an initial release about Adriana Young, the 11-year-old girl who was missing and later found dead in the Doubleday Hotel at Tuition, were inaccurate. Police did not state what parts of the release were inaccurate. In the official release, police said officers were searching for a man who was only known as Orlando for questioning about the alleged abduction of Young. The young girl was, however, found right at the hotel where her family members believed she was all along. We tell you now that in what Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo described as an extremely sad day for Guyana, he has issued a strong call for transparency and accountability from the Guyana Police Force, demanding answers and the release of video footage related to the death of Adriana Young. Jagdeo expressed disbelief at the conflicting information made public so far.
Now, if they have that footage, the police, and they put it in a statement here, they should immediately release the footage. I don't know why there is a delay in releasing this footage, because this is very inconsistent with the entire story. If you viewed footage that showed the young lady entering into a car, you gave a specific car number and the color and the make of the car, and they drove off. Then release the footage that you viewed. We want to see it too, as a country, and the family would want to see that too. How, after this person left, well, this young lady left, did her body return to the pool? Something is wrong, and we have to get to the bottom of this. And we're not going to rest until that happens. And whoever is culpable, if there is a cover-up, people will face consequences. We're not going to tolerate this. This young girl should have never lost her life.
3 women are now dead after a man, Parmanan Ramdial, went berserk and killed them at their house located along the Linden-Soosdyke Highway on Wednesday night. Dead are Mylene LaCruz, her mother Waveney LaCruz, and her sister Suan LaCruz. Sion LaCruz, Waveney's son, and the girl's brother is critically injured. Ramdial, who was Mylene's husband, later took his own life.
Waveney LaCruz and her daughters, 25-year-old Mylene LaCruz and 16-year-old Suan LaCruz, were shot and killed late Wednesday night at their Ideal Road Linden-Soosdyke Highway house. Waveney's son, 23-year-old Sion LaCruz, was shot too but is critically injured. Their killer was Parmanan Ramdial, the husband of Mylene. The couple had 2 young children aged 3 and 4, and Mylene also had an 8-year-old son from a previous relationship. It is believed that Ramdial shot the 3 women and the young man before taking his own life. Police said a pistol with a live round in the breech and 5 more in the magazine was recovered near his body, along with a small uncorked bottle emitting a noxious odor. Authorities say it is not yet clear whether Ramdial was licensed to possess the firearm. Earlier that day, according to the police report, Mylene, Suan, the children, and someone who is now a witness in the case went a creek outing along the Linden Highway. Later, while at the Soosdyke Junction, Ramdial arrived on a motorcycle and the group returned to the LaCruz home. It was there that a heated argument reportedly broke out between Ramdial and Mylene, followed by multiple loud explosions. The witness said she immediately fled the home with the children. Sometime later, police officers from the Timeri police station processed the scene and recovered 7 spent shells, 2 warheads, and several metal fragments. The materials have since been lodged at the station for forensic analysis. The bodies of the 3 women were declared dead at the Diamond Diagnostic Hospital and taken to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home pending post-mortem examinations. Sion is at the Georgetown Public Hospital receiving treatment. Ramdial and Mylene were together for years, but months before, on January 9, Mylene shared on her Facebook page that Ramdial was an abusive partner. In her post, Malini said, quote, 6 years, 7 months living with this individual, and this is what I have to face even though I ran for my life. He keeps coming after me. He keeps abusing me mentally, emotionally, physically, and verbally. At this point, this is my last option to get help and to get out of this abusive relationship and to get my children away from him. Unquote. Police said Ramniol was charged with wounding and threatening Malini on that date. He was initially remanded to prison but was later released on bail. Coincidentally, the case was brought before the court again on the same day as the murders, April 23, and adjourned. Police said investigations into the matter are ongoing. Reporting for the newsroom, Vishani Raghavir.
The Guyana government does not actively facilitate drug production or money laundering, according to the United States Department of State's latest International Drug Control Strategy report. However, it points to persistent institutional weaknesses, including corruption among police and other officials, which obstruct effective enforcement. The U.S. has often acknowledged Guyana's willingness to cooperate on anti-narcotics initiatives, and Guyana continues to pass legislation aimed at tackling money laundering and corruption while engaging with regional and international partners to provide enforcement and judicial processes. To this end, Attorney General Anil Nandlal has rejected criticisms of institutional weaknesses leveled at Guyana while outlining efforts over the years to fight corruption and bribery that allegedly continue to hamper the country's anti-narcotics efforts.
The United States of America itself is a member now of CFATF, and they were present, and they participated in the exercise, where Guyana AML-CFT framework was laid bare. Report, we had to defend the report. And at the end of that process, Guyana came out with excellent evaluations. In fact, Guyana did better than almost every independent Caribbean state in the 4th round mutual evaluation process. And our ratings were sent to the Financial Action Task Force, where it received that agency's approbation. And that is the international standard bearer on AML-CFT. Once you meet that approbation, once you pass that assessment, and you do so with flying colors, which we did, that is conclusive. There is no other agency now that can come and second guess that. And that's my problem with this report.
Still to come, a Region 6 housing scheme inundated with flood waters and hundreds of suggestions pour in for PPPC's next term in government. Welcome back. You're watching the newsroom. The Vrymans Erven housing scheme in New Amsterdam Berbice is currently inundated with floodwaters as a result of heavy rainfall in recent days. Many streets in the area are submerged, and despite no rain on Wednesday, the flooding persists in this municipality. Residents are fed up with the ongoing issue, which has plagued them for over a decade. Mayor of New Amsterdam Municipality, Wainwright McIntosh, spoke about the situation on Wednesday.
With regards to the desilting of outfalls, the secondary drainage network, and so forth, that responsibility lies with NDIA through central government. Now, we can desilt day in, day out our many primary drainage network that we bear responsibilities for. Once those secondary drainage network are not adequately serviced, once the outfalls they are not adequately desilted, we will continue to experience flooding inland in the town of New Amsterdam. So, to confront the many issues, including flooding situation in New Amsterdam, a multi-stakeholder approach must be taken into consideration. And I will continue to call on citizens, residents, to play their fair part in this process. Stop littering the town of New Amsterdam.
Just 1 week after inviting public input on the initiatives the People's Progressive Party Civic should pursue in its new term, General Secretary Dr. Bart Jagdeo has announced an overwhelming response from Guyanese at home and abroad. At his press conference on Thursday, Dr. Jagdeo confirmed that over 100 written submissions were received, alongside more than 1,500 messages via WhatsApp, with many individuals submitting multiple ideas.
A number of people ask questions of us. So some shared ideas, and their ideas range across almost every area of national life. And also they cover international trade, foreign relations, the economy, and then some very practical issues like garbage collection and cleaning of drains and doing pastures in different on some specific issues. So some were broader policies and some very specific ideas that address problems that people face. But many used the opportunity they had in contacting us to ask questions. And so I want to assure people again, I want to respond to some of the questions that they posed, because I thought we had done so already, addressing some of these issues. So for example, people ask, will the next 5 years see an increase in old age pension again? We know you have double old age pension, but will the next 5 years, can our pensioners see an increase? And the answer is yes.
Students across Guyana explored several responses using technology and innovation to tackle real-life issues at the Education Ministry's STEAM Fair. The theme for the fair, being held this week at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, is Innovative Solutions Through STEAM for Sustainable Development in Guyana. In keeping with this theme, more than 200 participating schools explored projects that respond to the country's pressing issues, including flooding response and a solution to traffic congestion and speeding. The newsroom visited the fair on Thursday, where students excitedly delivered presentations about their projects.
Are you aware that Guyanese are living below sea level? Many parts of Guyana, especially the low coastal plain, was 6 to 8 feet below sea level. But now, due to climate change, and pollution, it now increased to 6 to 10 feet below sea level. So when we are below sea level, high tides and strong waves really affect us without sea defenses, because when the waves start coming towards our community, it will be flooded. We decided to make a wave tank so we can study which sea defenses work best in helping to reduce this flooding. The first one is riprap or rock armor. The second is these concrete stairs that work alongside these mangroves. And this is the most common one, a concrete slope. And this concrete slope actually works with the riprap for better protection. There is a car battery that powers this motor, which makes this board move back and forth, mimicking ocean waves. And as you can see, there is no sea defense, and the community is getting flooded. When the community is flooded, farmers would lose a lot of financial support. So these sea defenses actually help prevent that.
Our project is called A Mathematical Approach on Urban Traffic Management. This project, what we want this project is to inspire and aspire engineers so this traffic management system can be in place in our current economy. It shows the significance of its use to our economy, right? Because since our economy is a growing economy, this project will really benefit the road users, pedestrians, and whoever is on the road. Our project also integrated that also. And you mentioned that how can it help with the congestion of the traffic? Well, basically, our traffic system works as a hive mind. It rotates the cycle to see and to work together with the sonars to see which side has the more traffic congestion and then give that side the priority. For example, the Linden-Sussex Highway, it needs a certain traffic management system for the community because people are going up and down and it's a really hustle place, right? There's a lot of hustling and bustling there.
The government will table the long-anticipated Oil Pollution Prevention, Preparedness, Response and Responsibility Bill 2025 in the National Assembly next Monday. The bill establishes a modern and comprehensive legal framework to prevent oil spills, enhance national preparedness, ensure timely and effective response, and hold responsible parties accountable for damages caused. The proposed legislation, referred to as the Oil Spill Bill, was outlined by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal during his weekly program Issues in the News on Tuesday.
It is a landmark bill establishing a robust, modern and comprehensive legal framework to govern the prevention of, preparedness for, response to, and liability resulting from oil spill incidents from installations and facilities engaged in petroleum operations under the Petroleum Activities Act across the national territory, including Guyana's territorial sea and exclusive economic zone. It ensures that every person and or entity involved in any petroleum activities, including drilling, exploring, producing, storing, handling, transportation of petroleum products, oil, gas, etc., shall be held to the highest standards of operational safety and environmental responsibility. The bill also enshrines liability for those who may be responsible for any form of oil spilling or any negligent oil operations that lead to damages of any kind. Significantly, it doesn't limit liabilities, and it provides very clearly for the responsible party to be held liable for all damages occasioned by the act or omission of that party.
Education Minister Priya Manichan on Wednesday announced that the 560 million St. Mary's Secondary School being constructed by the government will cater to students once housed at the Brickdam Secondary, which was closed down in 2016. Minister Manichan said the new school joins a number of schools that will be completed in 2025. The building was closed due to its dilapidated condition and students were relocated to an East La Penitence location. Minister Manichan also noted that 92 guidance counselors are positioned at secondary schools across the country, and about 99% of the teachers in schools are either trained or in training.
Only in Georgetown, we have built and are going to be opening shortly the new Christchurch Secondary, the new St. George's Secondary, the new St. Mary's Secondary, which I will let you into a secret now, will become the new Brickdam Secondary. We're changing out the kind of education that we offer, the quality of education, beginning with trained teachers.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us. Welcome back to the newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. Despite a fighting half-century from all-rounder Brandon Henry, Guyana lost to Barbados in the final round of the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under-15 50-over championship at the Colditch Cricket Ground in Antigua on Wednesday. The Bajans played unbeaten, winning all 5 of their matches to defend the title successfully. Guyana, with 3 wins and 2 defeats, ended 3rd behind Trinidad and Tobago. After the game, Newsroom's Avinash Ramzan caught up with Guyana's coach, Kemraj, who is bemoaning the defeat, said the biggest loss would be players not incorporating the lessons learned on tour to elevate their game.
Alongside me, the coach of the Guyana team, Yuraj Kemraj. I know you're disappointed, coach. You were very emotional after the conclusion here today. Just sum up your emotions.
To begin with, the Guyana team, they tried, right? The positive out of it, we had some good performance individually. I guess we couldn't put partnerships together today once again, and that was the cause that we lost against Jamaica. But during the tournament, we had partnerships, we had scores. As a team, we still posted the highest score in the tournament. Also, we got the best bowling figures for the tournament. We probably end with the best. We still have some good personal performance that we look back to and we reflect. And what I just said to the guys after the tournament, we lost the tournament, yes, but the biggest loss if we go back home and we don't learn from this experience. Our guys, they put the best foot forward. It's just unfortunately we couldn't put our foot together and have those partnerships. Even we know down to the end, we are getting out just at the wrong time. But at the end of the day, yes, it's disappointing to lose, but there's so much we learned from the store. And the guys, they're pretty young, they're pretty much young. So it's not the end of the world for them guys. And that's the most I could have said to them at the end of it. Yes, it's very emotional because we came here with a purpose. I personally believe that I've led the nation down as the coach because that's what I was looking for, to carry back the trophy home.
I understand your emotions because I know the work that yourself and manager Terry Newton put into this last 2 weeks. This was not just another game where you win and you take home the title. There were lots of other permutations. You had to get bonus points, then you had to limit the opposition from getting bonus points. How difficult was that?
It was difficult, but it our four-spot position because we tried to bring in Ramdial, we tried to bring in Brandon Henry, who were not bowling much in the tournament, just to try to narrow down the run scoring, because we realized our paces was spraying the ball a little bit more today. So we take the alternative, because possibility if we stick it with the fast bowlers, we could have probably got full fast bowling points in the tournament and we probably would end up second. But we are looking deep down to win the championship. So the mere fact was that if we need 2 more wickets more than Barbados with a win, right? And we sacrifice it. Yes, it did not pay out for us, right? But the mere fact of it, we try to give ourselves a chance.
You talk about good performances. You had the 93 from Lamar Sicharan, a 50 today from Brandon Henry. The skipper, Richard Ramdial, got 2 half centuries, and then Riaz with 15 wickets. Those are encouraging signs.
It was a learning process. Yes, we want to win. We want to win, but the process of developing a player is important, right? Championship is good, but think about it. You win championship, but how much players move on, right? And this bunch of young kids, they have the ability to move on and play to the highest level. Look at Latif, young Latif. Young Latif has been the leading wicket taker in the tournament, right? Those are positives that we can sit down and settle with. It's unfortunate Lamar far a few runs short again, as could have possibly be the leading run scorer of the tournament. So yes, there's a lot of positive. There is some emotion, but it's also a learning process for myself. It's first time having national duty. I put my country first, so that's one of the reasons why there's so much emotion.
Coach, tough luck today and all the best in the future. Reporting for Newsroom from the coolest cricket ground here in Antigua, I'm Avinash Ramzan in association with Cricket Zone USA E4 and INS Trading.
The second Guyana Football Federation Blue Water Shipping Under-15 National Secondary School Championship is set to begin on May 3, with nearly 90 schools expected to participate. GFF President Wayne Ford has announced that the Federation's technical team will be actively scouting for talent during the tournament. This initiative aims to expand the pool of players and strengthen the national team as Guyana seeks to become a more competitive force in regional competitions. The GFF highlighted the national team's incremental progress in recent competitions.
Led by our technical director, Brian Joseph, we are actively scouting every competition that's being played in Guyana. We have our technical staff out, and we're trying to identify talent in its earliest stage. So in all of the different districts that the tournament will be played, we will have people out there keeping an eye on the young women and identifying who we might want to introduce or include into the national pool. We always endeavor to make the pool as large as possible for the initial scouting, and then we gradually bring it down to the cream of the crop, as we would call it. So it's for that reason that we were able to have the girls perform as well as they did, because we really went for the best of the best. You know, the football pyramid, the larger you make the bottom, the better is the quality at the top. So with so many young girls playing football in so many different regions, I have to believe that the national squad that we'll be able to put together, and we do have under 15 girls appointment internationally this year as well, would possibly be better than what we did last year. And some of the girls from last year will be back in the squad. Of course, if they were able to stay in shape and were practicing and they're sharp, they will be back. So they will likely have 2 years of international football at that level, because some of the girls were young for the qualification age for the tournament last year.
Olympian Emmanuel Archibald will spearhead Team Guyana, which is set to compete at the South American Athletics Championships in Argentina from April 25 to 27. Archibald, the national record holder in both the long jump and 100 meters, will focus solely on the long jump event in Argentina, according to a press release issued by the Athletics Association of Guyana on Wednesday. Other members of the team include Nolex Holder, Akim Stewart, Shamar Horatio, Annalisa Redmond, Natricia Hooper, Kieran D'Souza, and Leslie Beard. Current West Indies Test players Joshua Da Silva and Alec Atenaeus have both expressed their interest in taking on the role of Test captain following Craig Brathwaite's resignation earlier this year. Despite being relatively early in their Test careers, both players indicated they would welcome the opportunity to lead the side. Da Silva and Atenaeus, both 26 years old, made their comments on Tuesday evening during an appearance on a popular Barbadian radio program, Mason and Guess.
Josh, as you know, we're now searching for a Test captain. If you are asked, would you be honoured to lead the West Indies Test side?
Yeah, of course. It would be an honour to do that. If so given the opportunity, would gladly take it. But, I mean, it's not in my hands, so I'm just waiting for whatever's to come. It's all in God's hands. So for me, it's just about doing my part, as I did my part scoring runs. So it's up to the selectors and what they think. So not focusing too much on it. Obviously, it will be in my mind, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm just happy to represent West Indies once the opportunity calls.
Would you like to captain the West Indies Test team someday, Alex?
I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to captain the West Indies Test.
Mm-hmm. And why would you want to captain the West Indies team?
I think leadership brings out the best in me. Anybody that knows me personally knows I perform better when there's added responsibility placed onto me. And I think I have a lot to offer, to be honest.
I see. And of course, you know there's a vacancy, so you never know, you may get a call.
Well, we'll see about that.
The Ghana Football Federation, GFF, has completed the second block of its C license coaching course as it steps up efforts to improve coaching standards nationwide. The course held at the National Training Center in Providence focused on session planning and delivery, aligning with CONCACAF's key coaching principles, leadership management, planning, and preparation in teaching and coaching. A significant addition to this training block was a compulsory child safeguarding module, ensuring coaches can create a safe and respectful environment for young players. The participants included youth national team coaches and those working at clubs nationwide, as the GFF aims to strengthen grassroots and developmental levels of the game. The course also ensures coaches meet club licensing requirements and CONCACAF's minimum coaching standards. And with that, we've come to the end of this newscast. On behalf of the news and technical teams, I'm Kurt Campbell saying thank you.